What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you UFC 325, Volkanovski, Lopes 2. Coming off an 8-3 week, lost Perez, or Johnson, lost Bukauskas, and lost Patty the Batty in the main event. I actually did bet Gagey there, so I wish I brought you back. I got a little busy with life and family stuff. So we're starting here with Road to the Contender Series. We pick all the fights here. We don't shy away. Start with the flyweight. We got Aaron Tao versus Namasarai Batairar. And I don't know how I'm not going to pick the guy with the face tattoo. I think this is in Sydney, Australia. So a lot of Aussie, New Zealanders on the card there. I'm pretty high on them this week. I think you can see a lot of them. I'm favored pretty much a lot of them. Something special about that part of the world. They love their fights. They're very passionate, the energy. So you're going to see a lot of bias towards that. I'm going to start with Aaron Tao on the underdog on the books to start the week. Flyweight bout. Probably going to go to decision ultimately just because the finishing ability is just not always there. So the KOs, it's got to be pretty emphatic. But I think Bat Bayar is pretty durable himself. If anybody's going to get the finish, it looks like it could be him by submission. Would be kind of like where I'm kind of heading in this one, but I'm gonna pick Tao to start, even though I definitely like Bayatbar by submission. If it's actually gonna be like, if you were to do a specific bet like finish only Bayatbar, but if I would pick Tao probably to win over the course of 3 rounds. But official pick is Tao. I ain't picking against the face tat. Next up, bantamweight bout, Suleng Grangbo versus Lawrence Luau. This is a bantamweight bout, 135 here. Suleng Grangbo is big favorite, and I guess we're just gonna stick with that. It's kind of hard to really go against some of the favorites here. A lot of them are pick'ems, when you're breaking them down, but I think Lou is gonna be the one I don't go with here, the New Zealander. It's kind of just like that same thing. I don't know. This one's extremely like these are really hard to go with. Again, sometimes you just take the favorite. Sometimes I just like to take the plus money where you can. But I think Suling Barrow can get a finish potentially. Do a lot of damage, and really just be a difference maker against Luau, who tends to be in longer fights, right? More decisions on his card, a loss in there. So that's where I'm going. Suleng Grangbo. Next up, featherweight bout. Kiichiro Nakamura versus Sebastian Zalazlai. And this is one where I love that guy's name, Nakamura Kiichiro, but I'm gonna go Sebastian Zalazlai here. Just this is straight hometown pick'em. More like comfortable, I think, later in a fight, fighting for 3 rounds. I think that's where he'll end up. Really, he can catch him early or catch him late. I think Nakamura is a killer, be killed fighter against not super skilled competition. I could see him getting knocked out in the first round, second round, third round, or losing by decision here. It kind of just feels like how on Zalazlai is. It's one of my more favorite of the road to the UFC picks in general. Just kind of, I don't even want to say experience, but just like in terms of some of those people in the regional scene in Asia are just absolutely not it. So some of it might not even matter. And I just think somebody with kind of the fighting experience as Zalazlai, so a lot more decision fights, a lot more close fights, and that's where I'm going with. Last up, we got Sang-Wook Kim versus Dom Marfan. This is a lightweight final road to the UFC. And I'm just gonna pick the hometown guy here, Marfan. I think a moderate, slight favorite, minus 175 or something like that. And I just think again, when you have the submission capability, when you have the chance to get around a guy who might not have the experience on the mat as you do, I always thoroughly think that's a win condition. And not like Kim isn't a submission artist himself, but it's just that, sometimes you just think where guys know they want to be, and maybe he will have, the Frogman Kim will have a little advantage on the feet over Marfan, but I don't know. I just think something about getting in that octagon and just kind of blasting forward. I mean, he's fought Quinlan Salakid, so he has experience against UFC caliber of a person. That's really all I need to know about how I'm just gonna pick Marfan in this fight as I'm breaking it down to you. Right, the level of competition we just know right there is something that should stand out, and yeah, that's where I'm going with Marfan here. So hopefully those first four do nice. Now we're on to the early prelims. Khan Ofli versus Yiza. Khan Ofli 13-4-1 coming off a win of Ricardo Ramos. I think Ofli cashed us big time that day. I think he finished him with a standing rear naked choke or something like that. Yeah, standing rear naked choke in the first round. He's plus money again against Yiza, who was a first round finish in his last time out against Weston Wilson. Lost to Gabriel Santos before that. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to go against people that cash for you like Ofli, but it kind of is also a reminder to like get off the cash train while it's hot, because it doesn't always cash for a reason, like Bukakis last week. I'm not saying I would ever pick Krylov or bet on Krylov, but you just kind of know that like it's more of like a return to average. The guy's won like 7 straight fights or something like that. And this is where I kind of think Yiza really does have an advantage here. And it's not only, I just think he's Ofli has very bad striking defense. And if you just watch the two that he lost, Myron Santos and Naimov hasn't looked the best even too, and he wrestled him. So if you're thinking he can get wrestled and he can lose on the feet, potentially to somebody that's a better striker, and he has bad defense. So I kind of think Yiza can get him out here pretty early. I don't think this fight starts round 3, to be honest. I think either of these guys gets a finish. Something like Yiza finishes him in early round 2, and if not, he gasses him out and gets into a bad position. Like, if this fight I don't see in the 3rd round. So I like Yiza here. I think Yiza KO round 1 is very spicy. I think Ofli, I don't know, man. This one, I think they could get to the 2nd round. So like, I always think 1-2 is very good here. But I got like Yiza. They can get a finish here, one or two, and bring it home. Next up, welterweight bout. We got Jonathan Maikafe, Australian 8-1 against Oban Elliott, 12-3, coming off a loss. And this is a perplexing fight. I know I'm on a lot of Aussies, New Zealanders, and I want to get on my calf here, but I kind of feel like Oban owes us a little bit. I feel like his last performance, he just got wrestled and was pretty frustrated. I thought he would have... I mean, he got moved to... It was the Azerbaijan card. So, all things considered... I don't know what happened there. It was kind of rescheduled from Bramajin, and he fought a month later in, was it double weight cut? Was it, he was a wrestler. Now he's got a better competition in terms of, like, I think my calf had, you look at the metrics, 5-inch reach advantage, 3-inch on the legs. It's going to be a long day in for Oban. And I understand why he's an underdog here. It's kind of one of the reasons I like him a little bit. I think he always... One, I know he's stated outright that he likes to play under like the big lights, so I think the energy is really going to serve him well. I definitely can see this one going. This one I was so sure on Elliott to start, and now I'm kind of going back and forth because I kind of see this one. I think there's a lot of not greasy decisions, just a lot of 30-round, very close, just slobber knocker fights, and I think this is one of them. I do think there is finish potential, but it's like, who are you going to bet on to finish the other guy? Certainly not Elliott after the last few fights, right? And his finish was Basel Hafez, which he's just a punching bag. So if anybody's getting the finish, I think it's Jonathan here, and I really do think that's But his last time out, he didn't look good against Kevin Jesuit. And if you're not looking to get good against Kevin Jesuit, like, are you really going to look better against Oban Elliott? So... yeah, that's basically where I stand on this one. So I'm picking Oban Elliott. He owes us. He's going to rebound better. And I just think Jonathan just is not going to be able to raise the level that I think he needs to be able to beat Elliott. Because I think Elliott is a very good boxer. He's got very good technique. And when you go watch this, I think Jonathan's only gonna have a few things to work with, while Elban's gonna be able to work the feet. Hopefully he's there a little bit longer. He's not. I don't know. So let's go Oban Elliott here by decision. Let's go, baby. Next up, middleweight bout. We got Jacob Molkan versus Torres Finney. Molkan 8-3, coming off a win against Petrovsky. Then we got Torres Finney. Man, that fight's so long ago. Coming off the win against Robert Valentin. Literally, I think he threw 4 significant strikes. So, I mean, think of this fight as you will. I mean, Molkan, I think his last win was against Petrovsky, who shot in for a takedown and then stunned himself and got the finish. I don't even know what to really think of this fight. I'm all on Molkan early, but it kind of seems to me like Torres Finney might have he just might have a clear advantage in the strength department. And if he can wrestle him and actually do a little bit more, but I don't know if he's got cardio. I'm picking Molkan here. I have to. Like, there's no way I'm picking Torres Finney in a fight. You got to throw punches to win in the UFC. And I think Molkan's got decent enough takedown defense. I just don't know if he's strong enough. That's a serious... When there's certain guys that you've watched in the UFC, and Torres Finney's built like a brick house where, like, you just can't... You like, they can get up from anything, and they kind of can take you down. You might be able to get up, but they just can't keep taking you down because they're brick houses. Buckley, Menefield, just some big dudes, that just have huge upper body strength. And but I just don't think I think he lacks the technique. I think he just lacks the gas tank. I got Molkan here. I think Molkan can get a finish. Cheeky uppercut or something. Molkan round. I don't know. Just finish KO. Next up, Cam Rouston, middleweight, 13-3 versus Cody Brundage, 11-7-1, won no contest. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel any type of way about Cody Brundage. And after his last fight, and he got lost the fight before that, but it was overruled to a draw. Beat Julian Marquez, who's nothing, but a punching bag too, right? No contest against Razak Al-Hassan, even though he got head punched, KO'd in the first round. Lost to Bo Nickel before that. Beat Zach Reese on the slam when he was pulling guard in like one of his first fights. And beat Malkin, a legal elbow from back of the head. So it's like he wins, but like he wins because the other person loses. So yeah, Rouston all day. I think that's just what you have to just kind of play. I don't know how it really shakes out after that. Rouston round 3, Rouston decision. I just think Brundage is pretty strong for the division, and he can kind of hold them down. But yeah, I got Rouston here. I like Rouston by finish. Like you said, I just wonder if he gets taken down and lacks a little gas tank and a little experience, where Brundage has been in there with absolute just killers and has gotten killed, but like doesn't care. So I go Rouston here. Rouston by finish. I think he can get a cheeky sub on Brundage too. Maybe like a guillotine or something like that. We haven't seen a guillotine. I mean, it feels like we haven't seen anything in a while because we haven't seen, too many fights. But yeah, we got to get a guillotine soon. That's what I'm going with. Gouston, submission, guillotine. Let's go, baby. Next up, light heavyweight bout. The return of the Tafas. Junior Tafa, 6-4 versus Billy Elikana, 9-2. Tafa coming off a loss. Elikana coming off a couple wins, I think. Tafa's loss was to Turcos, triangle arm choke on a takedown. And, man, I want to pick... I think I'm picking Tafa here. I know it sounds crazy, but I just think something about his power is going to show up, and Billy is just going to just not be there. Billy, it's like... Just watch that Guzkov fight. When there's somebody with serious power, I think he has some serious problems. He's fought Aslan, who's ass. Kevin Christian, who's, I don't even know if he's UFC caliber. Did get the finish there. Way to go. But I think Tafa's going to show up in a big way. I think Tafa plus money. Tafa KO. Dude, if he doesn't beat Billy Elikana, I've been looking for, like, this is one of the things where, like, Billy cashed us the last time, and the time before that, even against Guzkov, because we had Guzkov, because we were big fans of him. But it's just like, at some point, I think he's a good fighter. I just don't think this is a good matchup for him. And I think he's a light heavyweight. Dude barely cuts. So I think Tafa's a big boy, going to be able to do some big power. He's got to touch the chin. I mean, I hope Billy comes in there and leg kicks him to death. But I think at some point, I don't know. I'm just taking a chance on Tafa here, bro. Might not be the most educated decision ever, but that's my pick. Just looking for a chance to fade Billy, too. kind of the same thing with, like, not even Bukakis, but there's just some times where, like, guys have been on a good run and they're just in a spot where guy he's going up against is more desperate, bro. I just going with Tafa here. He just does big damage, and if he can't knock out somebody like Billy, if he can't get within range and do something on your home crowd, then you're not fighting anymore. So I think his brother Justin retired, so Junior's Tafa the only one here. I'm picking one of them to win. Let's go, baby. Next up, the lightweight bout. Quinlan Salakid versus Jamie Malarkey. And, yeah, I don't know how it's not Sal Kid. Sal Kid by finish. Sal Kid every way to Sunday. Jamie Malarkey. I'm sorry, Jamie Malarkey. I don't know what the UFC does to you that they think that you deserve this. You know, Harpquist, Hoofy, you know, Turner, Zayam, Volk. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he was in UFC, but there's some absolute killers they've thrown him against. And he's done pretty well. He wins over Johnson, Prado, Bedoya. But, yeah, this is Sal Kid. Let's not even talk too much about it. Sal Kid by finish. Dude hits like a – that one KO is a changer, man. You change a lot of people about that, and that's why you're minus 1,000. So, Sal Kid. Might take him a little longer to get going. But dude is a monster in there. Lightweight, he's huge. Some great matchups with some lengthy lightweights I would love to see happen. Him and Baja Mondays would be fire. Heavyweight bout, Ty Bam Bam Bum Bum Tuivasa coming off like 5 straight losses versus Talishin Teixeira, 8-1 coming off the loss to D. Lewis. And, yeah, we're just going to Teixeira on the rebound here. There's no way you can pick Ty Tuivasa. If you do, send me a flyer. I feel way better about picking Tafa than Ty Tuivasa. Man, I just think he's got so much tread on the tires, even though he's only 32 years old. Just so much beatings, just no defense. And this guy, Talishin, is 83-inch reach, 6'7". I think he can just piece him up from the outside. So, Teixeira finish 1-2, KO. I think is a really solid spot. I think, you know, give him 10 minutes to work against Tuivasa. He can't. There's no way that man's. The last time I saw Tuivasa, he was like 325. So. Go Teixeira here. KO 1-2. Keep it short and sweet, kind of like Salakid. And, yeah, we get on to some absolute bangers. One of my favorite fights of the night. And, yeah, we're going another lightweight bout here. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Hoofy. Fiziev, 13-4, coming off a win against Baja Mondays. Mauricio Hoofy, 12-2, coming off the loss to Benoit Saint Denis. And, yeah, I'm like, I understand Hoofy's a slight favorite early up, fighting nerds. But, he's going up against Rafael Fiziev, who is a certified gangster, bro. Who I think has massive advantage later in the fight, round 2, round 3. The thing about Hoofy is, if he's not finishing in the first 9 minutes, I think his gas tank major league fades, and you kind of saw that against Saint Denis. I kind of question the guys he has beat, which have just basically been Malarkey and Bobby Green. And I think Fiziev is big live at even money. I don't understand it. You got 2 losses to Gagey. You got a win against Baja Mondays. If you wrestle this guy, if you box a little bit, wrestle him, I think I know Hoofy's a great striking athlete. I think Fiziev is an absolute physical specimen of an athlete. I think he's super athletic. World-class, like, gymnastic athleticism. And I think it's going to be tough for Hoofy to contend with and bring more power, more strength late in the fight to actually find. Like, dude, think about it. If Justin Gaethje isn't finishing Fiziev, then I don't see Hoofy finishing him. And then that means that, like, there's more of a chance that Hoofy gets finished. So that way I like Fiziev because I think he'll be better in the last 10 minutes of the fight and the first 10 minutes. I think the dude is just dynamic. He's explosive, and I just think Hoofy's going to be in for a long day, man. I don't like this matchup for him. If he gets a win, it's going to be well earned because Fiziev is just absolute, just insane. I mean, he's only lost to Justin Gaethje, and he got a leg injury against Gamrot, and yeah, that was pretty freak. So yeah, I gotta go Fiziev here, bro. He's just, to me, he's like one of those established contenders, bro. "Quote unquote" gatekeeper in a way. And Hoofy, this fight goes 3 rounds. Like, I can't see any of these guys getting knocked out, so I do like that. And that way is pick your poison. But I think Fiziev is going to get a little bit better of it. And, yeah, that's where I'm taking it home. Next up, lightweight bout, Dan the Hangman Hooker back again. 24-13-0 versus Benoit Saint Denis, 16-3-1 no contest. And another one that you kind of just got to keep short and sweet because, like, are you really picking Dan Hooker off a submission loss at the end of the last year? And just so much wear and tear against. I mean, he's going to have to outstrike Benoit Saint Denis, which I think he's a good enough grappler to take down Dan Hooker. So that's where I kind of got to this point where Dan Hooker's going to have to implement some Hanato Moicano style, but maybe this guy Saint Denis just got so much better since then that it doesn't even matter. I think I'm picking Saint Denis here. I don't feel the best about it because I think Hooker definitely has a huge chance to win, huge chance to 3 rounds, but dude just looks like he's just one punch and he's leaking. So, like, there's going to be blood in this fight, and I just don't think it's going to serve Dan Hooker well. So, I think Saint Denis, again, one of those things where he's a better athlete at this point in his career, too. Like, 35 versus 29, and it just 30 now. It just is going to make a difference, bro. And it just, like, even it. I think Hooker, you can kind of compare. See, the thing is, Saint Denis is way better than Gamrot. I think all of us would agree that Benoit Saint Denis is, like, overall better, younger, more explosive, and, than Gamrot. And I just think Hooker and Gamrot was so close, even though Hooker got the win, that I think Saint Denis is just going to be better, and I think he'll get the win. Rear naked choke after some damage, if not ground and pound. But, yeah. Second round finish, Saint Denis here. I don't know. This one's crazy, too. Got a lot of great fights. And then this one, I don't even know how to go about, man. The featherweight title rematch, Volkanovski, Lopes 2. Lopes finishing Gene Silva with the absolute snipe shot of the century, man. Oh, man. I just don't think he gets those opportunities against Volkanovski. It's kind of hard to, like, pick Lopes here. I want to, but I just don't think he'll be better over 5 rounds. I just think you give Volkanovski so much to study, so much to work with. You're not going to outwork him. Both these guys are working equally as hard in the gym. I know that for a fact. Lopes has a world-class work ethic. I just don't know if he's with good enough people to beat Volkanovski. If you look at it, Volkanovski is 27-4. 3 of those losses are to Topuria and Islam. I don't think anybody in the world is anything other than 0-3 against those 3 guys in those 3 fights. I'm sorry. So I'm going to just neglect those fights and pretend they didn't happen. Now, the wear and tear happened, but if I'm having to pick something, I'm picking Volkanovski here. I have to until he proves to me otherwise. Dude, the guys he lost to are arguably the 2 greatest fighters of this generation, right? They arguably are. Islam, since... I mean, Habib, like John Jones is still, you know what I mean? Islam and Topuria are the 2 best fighters of this era, and he lost to both of them, and that's nothing against him. But I think Lopes has just not, he's just looked a little, he was kind of getting blitzkrieged against Gene Silva until he took him, until he just couldn't handle just fighting more and more patiently. He just kept going and got hit with an absolute smoke show. He was, I never care about you're losing that fight and then you knock the guy out. But, like, I just don't think Volkanovski goes that far forward in that much reckless abandon. The dude is just cerebral. If you just watch his fights, man, he pieces apart Max Holloway for 15 rounds. Maybe one, not all, but, those fights he won at 2/3 of the rounds, He won almost double-digit rounds against Max Holloway, so... I think Lopes has to catch him on the chin. Lopes has to hit him with a front kick, a knee, something like that. And I think that's the win condition for Lopes. He's got to hit him with the KO. Now, that's where I think but I just don't know, man. I'm not going to pick that. I'm not going to maybe I'll bet that. I don't know. The bets are one thing. The picks, I'm picking Volkanovski here. So that's just, he's my guy. I got one more chance to pick him. Like I said last time, I'm going to pick him one more time. He's got the heart of a champion, arguably the 3rd best modern fighter besides Islam and Topuria since Habib, right? Pound for pound, just just arguably the third best fighter. So I'm not picking against that. Yeah, I'm going to pick him to retire. Not against somebody like Lopes. I mean, maybe if it was somebody that was a different matchup and maybe could like get a little bit different of some action, but you could try and take down Volk. Like, good luck, man. This dude is a middleweight fighting at featherweight. Dude is strong as hell. And yeah, good luck to anybody, dude. Just makes me appreciate just a little sentimental Volkanovski, spew right here. Just those fights against Islam. That first one specifically, how he handled himself against a guy that's the welterweight champion of the world right now. So just think about in terms of like after they rebulk it back up, this guy is the featherweight GOAT fighting the welterweight champion, undisputed, dominant champion, pound for pound. So those are two of his losses, and arguably the first one. There are certain rounds in MMA history that are just ties. It's incredible that they have to like. There is something about certain, and this is a reason why, because so the belt just doesn't retain. That fight, second round against, I believe it's the second round, Volkanovski Makhachev, first fight, is one of the closest rounds. It's up there against Burns Chimaev 3. There are just some incredibly close rounds that are legitimately 50-50. You go back, 2 minutes and 50 seconds of control time, 2 minutes and 50 seconds of control time. Significant strikes within margin, right? When you factor in the rest of the judging of the octagon. And those are two rounds specifically that you could argue went to the other guy, or it is at best an absolute draw. So to argue that there's a winner one way or the other, I think when you watch it analytically and you go watch it back and know that information and unbiasedly, study the film, and I think you can really make a point that one of those rounds, I think it's the second round against Makhachev in that first fight, could have went Volkanovski's way across the board, and I think he could have won that fight. And I just picking Volkanovski here, just appreciation for the man that's given us so many great times. Even the KOs, man, they're just legendary. Coming in on 11 days' notice, maybe something's different, but man, the champion walks a champion's route, and it doesn't come without hardships. And man's got 4 kids, 4 girls. Gotta go put some bread on the table. So I like Volkanovski here. I think Volkanovski, again, by decision, is super strong. He maybe get a finish. I think Lopes. I think he could get finished. I like Volkanovski 4-5 decision for a little bit safer of a pick. But yeah, I think it's Volkanovski. We'll do a quick recap here. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for the new subs. Leave your comments. 100% of the picks in the comment section gets $100, and we'll go from there. Picking, including these guys. I'm picking Tao, Sulan Langrengbo, Zalai, Marfan, Yiza, Oban Elliott, Molkan, Rouston, Tafa, Salkid, Teixeira, Fazeev, Saint Denis, Volkanovski. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video and made it this far. Take care of yourselves, your friends, and your family. Peace and love, everybody.